Hello the channel, welcome back everyone. Thanks again for watching, much appreciated as always. Hope you're all looking forward to Christmas and had a good weekend on Sorare. So still got the Neon Christmas stuff running at the moment. Bits of fun in there as well, some free boxes etc. So all good. Before we go through the preview for midweek, so a quick look at how I've got on at the weekend, which was Celtic winning to nil was always a good result, and we'll come on to obviously the Celtic preview for midweek as well. First and foremost, pretty pleased with the Celtic predictions. 10 out of 11, that was really good considering all the changes, etc. So I was at the game too, so that always helps in terms of enjoyment. Couple of really good results this weekend. So second contender Division 3, that was a team that obviously had been relegated before, so pretty nice score there. Yeah, it's working. The link's working again. Yeah, pretty nice score there. Higher actually than some of the teams I had in D1, unfortunately, but that's just the way it goes. 569 as well in this team. So again, I wasn't really 100% sure Alistair Johnson was going to start, if I'm honest, but great game as always. Big Ida missed an absolute open goal, and then he didn't score. It was an OG, but he had a header and it was deflected in as well. But excellent to get another second. Opta have been messing about a bit, so yeah, I just hope that stays there. Same competition I was in third, so that seems to be my favourite position just now, second and third. But again, this one was changed by Opta. Nicholas Kuhn totally robbed not to get an assist as well. That one put across to Ida. And I think probably my not my favourite result because I'm a Celtic fan, so obviously my favourite result's Celtic winning 3-0. But from a Sorare point of view, I really did enjoy the anti-stacks competition. It's really good. When I was making the lineups, etc., I did say that I was giving this a bit of priority. Again, this was third. Opta have managed to lose somebody a couple of points, and Upamecano being a bit of a prat actually would have probably been on. Well, it would have been on 100 if hadn't the error led to goal. Berardi and Barco with hundreds also picked some really good scores in there. Picked 2 clean sheets. Trusty to get a nice score as well. So again, 520, really good, really nice classic competition. Pretty interesting as well because it was a complete anti-stack format, and also over and above that, one entry, etc. Bit of cash in classic. Liverpool game off didn't help as well. So a few relegations. Show you the debut for All Black. Not one really to be proud of, unfortunately. So All Black with the 5, Rodrigo DNP. So short-lived stay in La Liga Division 1, but the the contra strategy of like Courtois, etc., and D3 won $40 and got up to D2. So now I have two entries. I guess that's kind of in a way nearly as good as having a D1 entry. I don't know. Depends how the points work out. Anyways, on to the preview for midweek. There we are, Atletico Madrid. 66% chance of a clean sheet. Can't wait for Oblak to make a mess of that as well. I did used to own his super rare in the past, so I know what it's like owning them. I can see why I sold it now as well. But anyway, 3.32 XG for Atletico Madrid. Bratislava have been pretty poor. I think they are still capable of scoring, Atletico Madrid are a pretty good team in the Champions League as well at home. Chelsea against Stana is obviously in the Conference League. I'm thinking about a lot of rotation from Chelsea. Job's pretty much done in terms of being through, etc. as well. So, yeah, I think we'll be a hard one to call. Bayern Munich against Shakhtar Donetsk. See that Manuel Neuer's out now until January. So, good news for Peretz holders. I wish I'd have got one actually. I know it's easy saying that in hindsight, but I did look at him a few times and I was just kind of felt as if I was just gambling on an injury, which would have worked, obviously. Stuttgart against Young Boys. Young Boys have been pretty poor. Interestingly, Celtic's next opponent after Dynamo, which we're going to talk about in a wee minute. Paris Saint-Germain against Salzburg. Salzburg again been pretty poor this season. Not a vintage Salzburg team at all. Paris Saint-Germain, just pretty difficult to call a team and everything, I think they need to win this one though, so they've had a lot of hard fixtures, so they should be going pretty strong, which hopefully means Donnarumma's on the bench. Milan against Cervena Zvezda, 2.42 xG, 50% clean sheet percentage, so pretty decent fixture for Milan as well. We've got Ghent against Baka Topola. Easy for me to say. That's one of the other competitions. I don't know if that's in Europa or the conference. Betis against Petrol. Arsenal against Monaco will be a fun game. I mean, Arsenal not really been keeping many clean sheets. They've lots of different injuries and everything. I will put that down to me buying them on Sorare. I think I actually brought in Raya and FPL as well, and I don't think a guy's kept a clean sheet since. Anyway, Torture, I've jinxed them like I did with Real Madrid, but I haven't jinxed Celtic, so I can take that. If I can just jinx everybody else apart from Celtic, then that's cool. Porto against Midtjylland as I call them. Should be a pretty good fixture for Porto. I think they've been quite hit or miss. Andrew Laird will confirm that he's the big fan. Feyenoord against Sparta Prague. Fiorentina are pretty good again. They kind of rotate quite a lot. Liverpool should be quite fresh, obviously. Didn't have to actually play at the weekend, so they should be quite fresh. Alisson back in the squad, so that's going to be interesting. At what point does Kelleher actually drop out? Copenhagen against Hearts. Again, interesting. Hearts are, Shankland actually got a couple of goals, so that will hopefully do his confidence a bit of good. Well, I don't really care actually, but so I know that some other people care, but I don't. I'm not a Hearts fan, but yeah, I mean, they're capable of causing upsets. I think some real fun fixtures as well. I mean, Barcelona against Dortmund's going to be a belter. See, Celtic don't really actually appear on here as well. Tottenham against Rangers as well. At Ibrox, so that'll be an absolute cracker of a game. And I guess always under a bit of pressure, but definitely under a wee bit of pressure after being 2-0 up against Chelsea. Real Madrid against Atalanta, a really difficult fixture for Real Madrid. Atalanta have been great. And Celtic 1.44 XG, 29% clean sheet percentage. So anyways, on to talking about Celtic. So first and foremost, having a quick look at the Dynamo team. See that Easington Eagles losing the plot here. Where's Batarina? Dude, you update but no reply. Also Branko Pavic. No reply. Well, he's injured, mate. So hopefully you get a reply. Sorry. Zagrać, Pierre Gabriel, Theopel, Catherine, Berners, Rostovsky. I don't think they'll enjoy playing Kun Maeda and Furuhashi. We'll come back to that in a minute. Ademi looks as if he's in there, but I think he got injured at the weekend, so maybe that's due to be updated. Piaka is obviously a good player. If indeed there's no Batarina, etc., it's a bit of a blow. I mean, looks like Zagreb are missing quite a lot of players, so I'm sure that will still be updated because there's a few guys. Obviously, Torrente I think went off the weekend or on Friday. Ademi I think went off on Friday as well. So some issues there. See if we'll get any comments. Nothing as yet, but obviously they'll be looking for a press conference, etc. as well. Celtic, so Kasper Schmeichel, nothing really controversial there. Carter Vickers was just rested at the weekend, no problems, just basically rotation. I'm quite proud of that, honestly. I've called the centre-back pairing for all the sort of recent games pretty well. Called Scales to start both of the home games. Called Trusty and Scales at the weekend. Johnson maybe I was a wee bit cautious on, but I thought after having an international break and playing twice for Canada and then coming back that he might sit out a game, but he seems to be doing pretty well. The toughest one, the back line probably for this game, I think is probably Greg Taylor or Valley. There's definitely arguments for Valley. I do like Valley as well. But I think Greg Taylor's still first choice at the moment. Valley's definitely pushing him. He's a good young player. Cal McGregor, nothing controversial there. Engels and Bernardo, again, I think the Engels will be favoured. He's quite box to box, good at pressing. Celtic's sort of transfer record I think Rodgers likes him in the system. Sometimes people, oh, Bernardo scores well or Bernardo looks good. I get that Bernardo is a good player as well, but they're both different types of players, and depends how the manager sees the game from a tactical perspective as well. Bear in mind that Engels has played a lot of games this season, and Celtic are playing really well overall. So you can't just say stuff like, oh, Engels, he's a diddy. Like some Celtic fans are calling for Bernardo to go in. You don't. It's a system. It's a team and a system. It's not just about one player. Real Hatate again. McCowan played at the weekend, so Hatate played against Aberdeen. Quite nice to have those options in there. Luke McCowan's a good player and a guy who can make a bit of an impact off the bench as well, which is a good option to have, I think, against Dynamo. Maeda, Furuhashi and Kuhn. Ida started at the weekend, not his best game. I think in this game, I'll be back to this front three. Ida has tended to start a bit more away from home, but yeah, I think that he'll want to go with the pace there. If you look at Dynamo's team, Rostovski's obviously an international player, and Bernauer is a guy who always scored pretty well, but in League Two France level, has not really hit it off at Dynamo. Theopel, Catherine, and guys like that. I mean, I think Celtic will want to sort of press and put them under pressure, transition, counter attack, make it as difficult as possible, and it's a pretty good chance for Celtic. The stats don't reflect it, but the stats don't obviously know that that Dynamo have got 5 or 6 first team players out as well. So, anyways, on to some selections in terms of what we've got lined up. So we've got European champions. Obviously, that's in-season competition with cash. In-season specialist, pretty interesting as well. Obviously having the specialist rules needing an under 50, two under 50 players. Rules on stacking, etc. as well. Only 2 players from the same team. Pretty interesting. We've got the Europa League and Conference. I'm presuming that's what League and Conference means. Like Europa League and Conference. It is supposed to be Europa League, isn't it? And then we've got classic competitions, market credit Europe. I hadn't really noticed that before. I'm assuming that you can win some market credits. That's a reasonable way of getting people into buying some cards. European champion, champions, classic, all-star, European League and Conference. So Europa League and Conference, under 23s. So I think I've actually got some relegations under 23s. Well, first and foremost, we'll have a look at players and see who I've got that's sort of obviously good projections. Going to be a tough one, I think. I mean, obviously Celtic are away from home. I do fancy Celtic get a result right enough. So there's no real issue with that. I mean, it's not as hard an away game as it could be. It's not like going away to Atalanta or whatever you think. There's no real chance of like SO5 win or whatever here. But options are Black, Jorgensen, pretty interesting. David Raya, I've got limited of. I've left this to like all cards at the moment. Trubin at home, getting good clean sheet at the weekend. Fancy to get a bit more AA there, so 42% of the clean sheet. So if he does keep one, then should be pretty good. Kelleher, in terms of spreadsheet, down to about 70% start. So I've got this sorted to expected clean sheets now. I think that works marginally better, just because obviously that's the first thing you're going to be thinking of. Thomas Rojo has been excellent. I think he's a guy who'll get a big move from Benfica. It's a weird one because Antonio Silva, I think, was the one who was really fancied to get the big move, but Araujo might move first, or maybe they'll just say, look, you've just kind of look at less game time, so we'll let Antonio Silva go, take the big money for him and keep Araujo for a while. But I mean, he's both quite similar players, I think, in terms of stature. Bjorkan's an interesting one. I've got a limited of him. Troner looks as if he's got a knock. Schlotterbeck's always a maniac. Quite tempted to put him in the in-season thing, but it's just whether or not I've got anybody sort of strong stack-wise to go with him. Real Madrid definitely could beat Atalanta. There's no doubt about that. I think Vinny might be back as well, but pretty good team. Atalanta very well organised. Who's standing out midfield-wise? Evgen, pretty interesting one. So Bodo Glimt get a pretty good game. Don't really have in-season cards. I think there's maybe the odd Hogger one kicking about. That's probably not in season anymore. I know Zickernagel's got some in season cards, but mainly classic cards, obviously. Markin Cockshire should be fresh. He was suspended at the weekend. Di Maria. Seahoggus obviously got midfield cards as well. And Griezmann, could Atletico rotate? I guess they could a bit. Probably want to go for the jugular and just put it away, really, So Griezmann definitely a good option over Bratislava. I think Atletico, you'd fancy to take a good few goals off him. Sancho won't play, I don't think. I feel like Mudryk. Di Maria's forward cards fancied a bit more, which is interesting. Jens Peter Hauge as well. Musiala, again, for Bayern, pretty decent fixture for Bayern. Although Shakhtar Donetsk are a bit... They're a funny team, like, not funny as in comedic, like, but they are a funny team. They can definitely do some damage, and obviously with people out, etc. Bayern don't really seem that secure at the back, unfortunately. Upamecano and these errors. Anyway, Mudryk's 50% starting sheet. I think he probably will start. I think Chelsea will rotate quite a lot for that game against Stana. Quite a long trip, etc. Adam Lozek's an interesting one. There we go, Nicholas Kuhn up there as well. Mo Salah, I've actually picked up again. I think the Liverpool pretty good fixture there actually. Real Madrid beat Girona 3-0, and I think that Liverpool could probably repeat that as well. Girona obviously lose a lot of players regularly, being Manchester City's effective feeder team. So there we go. So in terms of selections, let's have a look and see if we can get some good selections in, see how we use the sheet for midweek. Just as I was recording this video, somebody's messaged me and said I've seen some news say that they think that Alisson's going to start. So that's kind of interesting, right? So first and foremost, European Champions Classic. Can play Alisson. 0% here, but it doesn't look like it is actually 0%. Probably want to keep Casper for the end sort of season stuff. Safanov, let's not talk about him. Let's just not talk about Safanov, right? You see I've got a pretty good choice of Celtic players here, so that's pretty interesting. I could definitely run sort of Celtic player in defence here. Let's have a look. So that's one of the things I really like about the spreadsheet, obviously, in terms of flexibility. So I'm just going to filter it to super rares for midweek. I think that's enough given the actual choice. We've seen it earlier. Griezmann's a strong candidate, so that makes a lot of sense. Could run a sort of bit of a sort of Liverpool defence, actually. Been really good defensively this season, so definitely could run Alisson. I don't have a Kelleher super rare, by the way, so that's context to this. So if there's any sort of real issues, then I would probably just need to put in like Kasper Schmeichel in here, although he's probably going to be in the end season stuff. So midfield wise, could definitely use Evgen. That's a good shout, I think, actually, because no, can't use Evgen. It's Champions. Yeah, he's no game here. Yeah, that's because this Champions and not All Star, right? So I don't know if we actually have a filter for this on this sheet. Nah, probably not. That's okay. So who could we play in Champions? Could play Orkin Kokshu. It's interesting. Charles the Kettler's been excellent, right? It's against Real Madrid, so it's not going to be an easy game, but Real Madrid have been conceding. Rodrigo de Paul, look at the form he's on. Definitely an option there as well, doing pretty well. Interested to see him scoring pretty well like that. Again, Bratislava are pretty poor. Declan Rice on sets as well. I think I'm going to go with De Paul and go for the De Paul and Griezmann connection. Alvarez might not start. I guess that's kind of one of the issues there. Again, standout fixture for Griezmann, and then from Celtic's point of view, away game, I'll probably run in separate, or will be running in separate Celtic stacks. So I'll keep my Nicholas Kuhn for that, and I think I'll use a Nicholas Kuhn in this team as well, because that's a pretty strong team, right? That is a good European Champions Super. That is like kind of podium dangerous, as Quinny would always refer to it as. So yeah, and what type of rewards do we have here? Got a star super rare for first. Unfortunately, I don't think it is just from Champions League, but up at that level, your stars are all really good. So press confirm lineup. Come on, why are you not working, site? Too many lineups for this leaderboard. I know that because I press confirm lineup. For once, I've not pressed the wrong, but look, it's here. Select captain. I pressed the captain. Confirm lineup. Already used in European Champions. Honestly, the UI, man, just drives me bonkers. Let's put that in this team too. I don't really know why, but there we go. I never clicked team 2, I don't think. But yeah, fantastic UI. Anyway, moving on. Let's pick something else fun. So let's have a go at doing the specialist as well. I really need to decide whether or not I'm going to run a specialist entry. I don't know if I've got enough in-season super rares. I can definitely run a Celtic stack in European Champions in season, and that might be the sort of way ahead. So let's see what we've got available. Obviously, I'm probably not going to be using Kasper Schmeichel in here. I guess I could take a risk on Safanov actually. Will he get rotated in? How many cards do you need here? 3 in-season cards needed. So that's where it becomes a bit difficult, right? I've got lots of Celtic cards, but a bit more restricted in terms of in-season cards. I'm not going to be playing Ristovski against Celtic. So yeah, I'm not. That's just as a kind of rough idea just now. I don't know if that's an actual entry. I just try to work out as well how many in-season cards I've got. I don't think I can play Super Rare actually. So I need to have too many cards from Celtic in. And that's where all my in-season Super Rares are. So yeah. So we'll sack that off. Right. Celtic entry. You need 4 in-season cards for this. So again, probably be using Kasper Schmeichel's out-of-season card somewhere else. So Schmeichel, having a look at that lineup there for Zagreb. Yeah, Piaka's decent, Spikage, etc. But yeah, I think you'd fancy Alistair Johnson should score pretty well in this game as well. I don't know how much Celtic will dominate the possession. That's going to be a bit more difficult to tell. I do think Engels will start, but I think natural selection midfield's probably going to be Callum McGregor. Hatate definitely capable of a big score, but McGregor in there, especially, really good game against Leipzig, which is quite interesting. Obviously a top level team. We've got Nicholas Kuhn. I don't think I'm going to extend like having the super rares over like different competitions. Sometimes I do that, but I'll just probably put out Kasper Schmeichel, etc. and the sort of classic competition instead. So you see a difference now, like in-season Carter-Vickers 37%. Do have some 35% ones as well, which is quite good, but I guess you're wanting as much as you possibly can here. Johnson's the one who's done a lot of the hundreds, right? So it's quite hard to leave Trusty out because he's been really good. But again, that's a card I can use in another lineup as well with Kasper Schmeichel. Carter Vickers is such a strong scorer, both of them are, so it's really quite tough to pick between them. I'll look and see what the sheet thinks in terms of projected scores. So we've got Trusty a wee bit higher than Carter Vickers. I don't know how Carter Vickers are 47, Trusty's 78. I think probably just to do with data and everything for the Champions League. Less data available for these teams. So obviously Dynamo have not played against Celtic, if that makes sense. So but I think go for Alistair Johnson as captain, just such a strong scorer all round, and tactics wise, I think that game will set up quite well. So I'll give you an idea as to what to do for the Celtic limited and Celtic rare teams, etc. I have pressed confirm lineup, just the UI just doesn't really work. So I don't want to sound as if I'm moaning about it all the time, but like this is just indicative of the general experience. Like, you know, like stuff just doesn't work, right? And like also you go in and you've got the filters and everything and they're set to guys who don't have a game. So like, where's my team? There, it's there. Oh yeah, it's there. I did press captain on Johnson. Now I'm going to try and confirm it. It says it's already been entered. It's like rather than putting in fancy like screens with making noises and stuff, just make sure it's actually working right. That would be a lot better. Let's do a bit of under 23s. Let's do something that always brings a lot of fun, right? Because I love the under 23s, and let's do that. So, Philip Jorgensen's always a good pick. I've got a Trubin as well for limited. This is the last team I'm going to do because I think I've shown enough sort of information, etc., in terms of good scorers and the like. But it's always a bit of fun to pick the under 23s. I think one bit of feedback here is you can't actually see on this screen which one of these teams is going to be getting relegated. That's what I know, that one of these is down to be relegated. I wish they would give you an indication there, even if it was just like an arrow up and an arrow down or whatever, because like you've kind of got to go back out and just do more clicks to get back to the same bit. You'll see what I mean in a wee minute. So under 23s, yeah. So that one's down to D2. So I want to pick this one first, right? If that makes sense, because I want to pick my best team. Quite interesting as well to see Agarizabala play in the league. So it looks as if he's kind of been kept in the league, and Unai Simon's playing in Europe. So see how that all pans out. Trubin's quite a natural selection in there, I think, as well. Thomas Rovo, I've got him up to 9%. So I remember he was really quite high up on the sheet as well. Just changing the filters. I'm not actually going to be running like a Jude Bellingham rare in the limited competition, obviously. So midfield wise, João Neves, I mean, this quite like this Benfica collection actually. João Neves scores very well, no doubt about that. Guller, quite a hard game. Michael Elise was pretty good in the last game. Interesting. I think I'm probably going to go with João Neves actually. I know Chelsea have got a good game, so it's quite interesting to see if any of them are options. For forward line, etc., definitely tempted to run a Yamal in here, although I probably want to run him in the cash comp for the limited Champions League. Musiala is quite a high projected score, so that's quite interesting against Shakhtar. So probably run the forward card in here. And then who we're going to run with him? Cole Palmer's not in the squad. Leverkusen, tough game home. Inter are really pretty good defensively. Cherki, very good the weekend. Definitely back towards his best. Again, this is what I don't really like about the under 23 being a proper classic mode, if that makes sense. Because with Yamal, really, he is an under 23 option, but I automatically want to kind of run him in the cash comp instead, because it's just more money. Like, it's worth more. So, kind of interesting one. Mudrik's got a high project score there. Cherki, Cole Palmer won't play. Jackson won't play. Saka again, pretty interesting. Orkin Kokshu, pretty high project score. It's not been that reliable in terms of like those types of scores, so that's the only thing. I guess I could run my defensive stack and go with Carreras in here as well. Bit more difficult. I mean, Bologna are obviously a pretty capable team as well. But you could do that. Just run the whole Benfica stack. Albeit João Neves isn't actually at Benfica anymore now, he's at PSG. But that's quite a good D1 entry. Again, it is for fun. Again, I have pressed confirm it's not working, so no doubt that'll be my fault or whatever. I don't know. I'm not complaining. It's fine. Everything's good. Where is it? Yeah, it's there. See, it's in. So yeah. Does say 2 lineups. I'm sure I've done more than 2 lineups. Have I not done 3? I have. Yes, it's there, but it's not counted. Anyway, right, I'm not fighting with the UI anymore. I'm not complaining about the UI, it's fine. That's Sorare's job, it's Christmas. Let's not get into that stuff. Let's move on. So I've got a few more lineups to pick. I'll think about that and I'll run through and pick them probably by going to Sorare data or something and just doing them there instead and then importing them, given it's not really working very well just now. In fact, maybe that's not a good idea because remember Friday everything was just like broken, so maybe we just need to fight with a bit more. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the preview. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. We've got a smasher coming up tomorrow night, for cash boxes, etc., for rewards from the weekend. So we'll get that up as soon as possible tomorrow night after the Celtic game, and we'll go from there. If you're playing midweek, we'll end in customary fashion. Good luck and go fuck.